Welcome to TradeTheNBA.com. This is John. The support is for the 26th. Well, we had quite a little wild ride here. We had that weakness readings that we saw from our DOC. We dipped below the 76. We dipped below the ABM green. Came down. This was all part of the wild ride of the politics of Trump-Biden thing, and of course he released the transcript, which really didn't show a whole lot, and of course the market responded to that super favorably and bounced strong right back up to the ABM yellow. Even though short-term buyers are moving up, shorts even added into this on the pop back up, and still pretty weak from a green standpoint. Rising gold with Azure moving up as well still should produce a little more positive despite the general weakness of this, but we could just see a lot of back and forth. And of course we have our guidelines because you have the EBM gold right there, and of course they also the 76 is at 71, which happens to be on that 5K chart that we use our algo level, and then the 2990 range. So the stage is set, and we pretty much have our parameters, and just a matter of looking at our intraday readings to go off of each of the different moves. Of course, here we have the NASDAQ. It bounced off it was just above the 51%, but literally opened right at the 61 for them and stayed slightly below the 76. So you could say it's a little bit weaker overall, and you can see it also from the general readings, much closer with the golden Azure in this particular case, and almost a dip below the red line, very close, minus 58 in a point and a half. And of course, like we talked about, the euro not able to sustain anything. It's just looking more and more bleak as the German PMI numbers were horrible, as well as suggestion that the rest of the Eurozone is in a world of hurt. And once things improved on the Trump front, everyone started moving their money back into dollars, and boom, that created a problem. And of course now you have that critical threshold here at that 109.2 range, and you break below that, and like I said, they start to get worried in Washington, at least on the Fed side, because where's your next stop? Down at the 106 range, and then it gets really scary, because what if the euro goes subpar to $1? That would be a shock and a half, and that would have reverberations all over the place. So oil, and again, the whole Saudi thing turned out to be much of nothing, because the U.S. can just turn it up, and huge oil build really caused a whole lot of grief, and we moved below 50%. Not a shock there. It filled in the positive extremes from back over here and put us right back in the same range that we had been in before the whole Saudi explosion, which kind of interesting is sort of moved to complete back burner, as has everything else on this whole little political drama. So it's interesting. Gold giving back a little bit because it's just right now not enough pressures to move it forward at this particular time, though it's still going to keep pressing to the high side as long as there's instability. Once there was a little bit more clarity, some people took some gains on that one and said, okay, we'll look for the next crisis. And 5K chart, we had a fun day. The short signals came down. We ended up with perfect return buy coming through here, though we kind of expected that we were going to retrace that with the dip below the red line over here. So it was just a matter of picking the timing. We started off here with the orange moving above, steel crossing below. That was the first indication. It kind of popped above that a little bit, right off the 71 algo level that we've had from before, and then separated again, orange popping back up, and steel dipping back below red. I kind of look for that when you get this kind of separation. So it was above, and once it dipped back below, that was another opportunity. It turned out to be the high bar, and then boom, we collapsed all the way, took out that bottom low, which satisfied the dip below the red line. The only problem was it created a whole new series of dip below the red lines. And this was a pretty strong one, because actually the turnaround with the green over cyan, I like that from a buy early. Even if you waited for the orange, it was still good and confirmed. Only problem was it didn't take long for the separation to happen with steel crossing below, and there it is. Same combination of those four: green below the red, orange moves above steel, steel moves below cyan, and boom. It didn't produce a whole lot because you turned around and had a nice crossover buy coming right through here off the blue candle, off the P2 pivot, because Nice little higher move there from the previous low, and that is what led to the later rally, and then just kept going and going, and it finished all the way up at the peak level here. When you get that steel below cyan for that length of time, it's pretty strong. You know, what I call the inverse is sort of the long bull when you don't have the reset, and when it finally does, which is that steel dipping below red at any point, produces a nice powerful move. We had a little bit of flatness coming across here. The one little magenta candle that showed up right in between there was this little separation, but with steel coming from underneath, you knew it was going to be short-lived, so it was just a matter of waiting for the crossover. So it was literally within a couple of bars, and then even though it traded sideways for quite a while, there was still plenty of little dips of cyan below red going across through here, and red staying nice solid above zero at this particular point, and that was enough to do it. Now we're starting to see the potential for a little bit of weakness as we get a convergence here into the post market. So be looking for that one to play itself out. But beautiful ranges, very exciting stuff. No complaints whatsoever. I think that we just keep rocking and rolling with it. Exciting action, as they say. As always, if there's anything new or interesting to put up, I will certainly put it on the Skype chat. As always, though, trade well, and we will talk again later.